We want to go to our resident Canadian now, John Glasgow, out there in the car. We can't blame you for this storm, John, though. But you've been looking at the roadways, I-25. How does it look?
I seem to take all the flack for this winter weather we get here, apparently. I'm bringing it with me from Canada. Yeah, you know what? We're on I-25. We're actually just where Erica was talking about that slowdown, and we're seeing traffic just crawling here on I-25. We're going north. We just passed the Thornton Parkway, and yeah, it's a little dicey out here. It's slick in spots. CDOT hasn't, we've seen the plows out. They've been going northbound, or southbound rather, here. So they're trying to get to this section of the road, and that's probably why we're seeing this slowdown right now. Is we're likely stuck behind some plows. They got the treatment truck out as well, trying to get some of that fluid on the road here to help with the de-icing. But we are noticing too that the traffic is taking it very slow, cautious, and that's good because this type of weather you can slide real quick. We saw a couple of vehicles this morning spinning out, as well as one actually hit that median right in the middle of the road. So you want to be very, very careful if you're going to be out here this morning. But yeah, things are looking improving in parts of I-25. We saw towards the south part of the city that the roads there were actually right down to the pavement. It was wet conditions, so it's just going to take some time here this morning for the crews to get to parts of these roads. So have your patience. Keely, you're out in Boulder. What are the conditions like out even with where you are right now this morning?
Oh my gosh, they are beautiful out here. The snow stopped falling. We've got a good 8 inches of snow here in my backyard, so an unofficial total. But what a gorgeous scene it is. Absolutely beautiful out here. You can see blue skies already, partly cloudy skies, lots of snow out there. Perfect conditions for, you know, any type of animals. This is my dog Blue to be playing, or for even for the kids. A 2-hour delay start here in Boulder Valley School District. The roads, just a quick update on those, still a little slick out there, even though the plows have been out. The roads are still slick, but I'll tell you what, it is going to be a beautiful day. Just bundle up when you head outdoors, because we don't have this fur coat. It's a little chilly out here without the fur coats. I think we're at about 9 degrees here in Boulder right now, so it is chilly, but I'll tell you what, it is shaping up to be a gorgeous day. Let's go to Corey in Arvada right now with a check on the weather situation out there.
Hey, good morning, Keely. I'm glad you're enjoying things out there in Boulder. Here in Arvada, just kind of in between you and Denver, I've got about 6 inches of snow on the ground, a light fluffy powder. So really a nice storm again for the Front Range. This is actually the 6th time this year, since the 1st of January, that we had measured more than 5 inches in a snowstorm here in North Arvada, and that is kind of unusual. We normally get a sprinkle in a few 2 to 4 inch storms in there, but we've all had these really decent storms, and 5 inches measured out at DIA, that's actually a record snowfall for February 16th. Believe it or not, in about the 150 years of keeping records in Denver, we've never had a snowstorm reach the 5-inch mark on February 16th. So some awesome snow out here. The sun is going to start to impact things here pretty soon. Kind of patchy, but it's working its way over some of the thicker clouds. So if you get some shoveling done, the sun's going to start helping us out here in just a little bit, guys.
Oh, we all have so much shoveling ahead of us this morning. Corey, thank you. Your backyard is beautiful, by the way. Make sure to download the 9 News app. You can see the latest forecasts, closings, and delays. Track the storm down to your neighborhood. It's free to download on the Apple and Google Play stores.
Many COVID testing sites will open late today because of the snow, and the All-City Stadium location in Denver and the Jeffco Fairgrounds in Golden will open at 9 o'clock. The Boulder Fairgrounds in Longmont and the Water World testing site will both open at 10 o'clock. So if you were planning on a COVID test first thing, best to check the hours before you leave.
Other news now, the CDC has an update on masks. They say that mask usage guidelines are going to stay put nationally for now. The agency is considering new benchmarks, though, for masking, and indoor masking guidelines could loosen up as early as next week.
Moderna CEO says the pandemic could be coming to an end. He says the virus will likely just be a regular part of our lives, but more like the flu. Moderna has been working on additional boosters that target Omicron and potential future variants of the virus.
And one thing you want to know about the weather, it is going to stay on the chilly side today, only in the 20s and 30s, but we will see sunny skies. Tomorrow the sunshine stays with us and we warm it up into the 40s to around 50 degrees.
One thing to know at this hour on the roads, of course, still snowy and icy and slick in some spots. As you get ready to travel out near the airport, you may run into this delay. There's a crash on southbound Tower Road and Pena Boulevard.
Governor Polis has kicked off his re-election campaign this week, but in his speech, he barely talked about the pandemic or rising crime rates. 9 News reporter Marshall Zellinger got the chance to speak with him about important issues that just weren't brought up.
Were you held kicking and screaming to make crime a priority in this re-election campaign?
No, I mean, public safety is something that I think we should lean into and embrace. And frankly, I think we have good, thoughtful, practical solutions. I mean, one of the problems with the Republican side is they have part of the solution, and they're right. You need to catch criminals, prosecute them, lock them up. Yes, but it's that right? Because even if you succeed in catching someone, you lock them up for 2 years. Once they're out, you don't want them to recommit a crime. So it's about, yes, it's about supporting law enforcement. It's about apprehending criminals. It's about convictions, but it's also about youth diversion and intervention programs, how to reduce recidivism within the prison walls, how you deal with mental and behavioral health, including substance abuse, to prevent crime before it occurs.
If you were presented a supervised drug injection site, do you support that?
Again, I haven't looked at that, and I don't think there's a bill to do that. I would say I'm generally skeptical of normalizing drug abuse. I think what you need to do is get people into treatment and recovery so that they can recover their dignity and be able to support themselves and live fulfilling lives.
You've resisted saying you've made a single mistake during the pandemic response, saying that you made the best decision with the information that you had. I think most Coloradans would say they might regret a decision or two over the last 2 years. You really don't regret any?
Well, I regret that we didn't have more information at any given time, Marshall, and that was very frustrating, especially in the early days of the pandemic. Novel virus, and in those early days, shortages of masks, of gloves, even our hospital workers didn't have enough. There were very few treatments or therapies in those early days. Now there's much better therapies, there's highly effective vaccines. I really wish that we knew more early on. I wish we knew more even yesterday, as recently as yesterday. But yeah, I'm confident I can go to bed at night knowing, yes, with the information we had, we made the best data-driven decisions that we could at every point in time.
Marshall also asked the governor about taking credit for a savings idea that would override a cost that he put into law, a 2-cent per gallon gas fee gradually increasing to 8 cents a gallon. He signed it into law last year, and he wants to delay the fee he supported and is claiming credit for saving you money. The governor told Marshall in the long run, people know they need to pay for roads, but they can avoid the fee while gas prices are high.
Well, the NFL is hiring former Attorney General Loretta Lynch to defend the league against a racial discrimination lawsuit that was filed by former Dolphins coach Brian Flores. Lynch ran President Obama's Department of Justice for 2 years and was the first black female Attorney General in the U.S. She will lead the NFL's defense team along with Brad Karp, who was the lawyer who handled the concussion cases against the league. Flores also named the Broncos, the Dolphins, and the Giants in the lawsuit. They have all denied allegations around unfair hiring practices.
Protests continue in Canada by thousands of truckers, but the blockade at the U.S. border crossings have now been cleared. The protests are still happening now in the capital. Canadian police are threatening to arrest anyone still blocking streets in Ottawa. This week, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau declared a national emergency to allow police to seize trucks used in the protest. Canada hasn't declared a national emergency in more than 50 years. The protesters say they won't move their trucks until vaccine mandates and other COVID restrictions are over. Canada is rolling back requirements like COVID testing for fully vaccinated travelers, but health leaders say the changes are happening despite of the protests, not because of it.